Welcome back to Rev It Up Bowling. My name is Jason Robarch, and today we got a ball review for you. We're going to be reviewing the brand new DV8 Mantra Solid. This is the second iteration of the Mantra line. I did like the first one quite a bit, but we're about to see what the Solid can do. We're going to be bowling on our typical house shot. Now on this shot, we souped it up a little bit, as you've seen in previous videos, just to make big balls like this a little bit more usable across the lane. But we got a special surprise for you this time. On the left lane, part of this video, we're gonna be bowling on bat as well. I know a lot of you guys have said it's house shot, every ball looks the same, which I couldn't agree more, to a point, of course. So I do want to throw it on a sport shot where I think this ball could come into play a little bit more. So we're gonna be bowling on 37-foot bat as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. So we're gonna throw a first shot up 5, see what it does. Yeah, to be expected. It picked up the lane quite early. This does have the Insider Extreme Solid, the same one as the Brutal Collision. That is one of DV8's most aggressive cover stocks they have. Makes sense because there's not much volume out there. This particular ball does have a 2.50 around there, 14 and 15 RG, 0.047 differential, and a 0.011 intermediate. What that tells me is it does have a lower diff for a lot of different ASYMs. Really the only thing that's lower is like the Guru Oracle, Theorem, and some of the tour balls as well. So it's like that medium diff ASYM, not as low as the tour balls, but definitely not as much as the, Hypnotize, Mesmerize, Paragon, all those sort of big ASYMs. So what I'm hoping for with this ball is to be used very front to back, but on just lower volumes of oil. Let's go ahead and move towards second arrow. Closer. Now, obviously in these ball reviews, towards the end, if this is the first time watching, I adjust physically quite a bit towards the end. Right now, I'm just throwing everything basically default, just to see what that ball does before I start tweaking things. Move a little bit more left, be about on top of second arrow now. I want to get it a little bit. Not too bad. Still a smoother shape to it. Now, bowling balls like this, like when I look at the numbers, some things catch my eye and some things don't. On this one, the intermediate diff, 0.011. Now, to be a legal ASYM ball, at least the marking has to be on the ball if it's 0.008 or higher. So this isn't much of an ASYM. So it's not gonna provide us as much of that lopey forward roll off the back. It's gonna be in between a typical symmetric that likes to continue off the back of the left pattern a little bit more, whereas a Paragon or Mesmerize or something of that nature is gonna roll a little bit more forward because it has such a higher intermediate diff. So I should see some more continuation, which, let's move a little bit more left. A lot closer. Held the pocket up pretty well, still smooth, so I'm enjoying that. I'm getting into more volume and it's still retaining that smoother shape. I think a lot of it has to do with the cover stock being so aggressive. And the core is not small, don't get me wrong, so it should be pretty slow to transition. Let's move a little bit more left. We're gonna go somewhere around third arrow-ish. Oh, that was a miss in. Yeah, it was not the greatest shot in the world, but that's okay. The layout I went ahead and put on this is a 40 by 5 3/4 by 60. If you guys watched my Guru Oracle review, I put something somewhat similar on a ball that core numbers are very similar. I think an intermediate diff is the biggest difference there. But I felt like that ball was a little too sparky in the mid, so I wanted to go with a little bit longer pin to pap to hopefully make it flare a little bit more, blend that middle portion of the lane out, and make it a little bit more front to back. We're gonna move left a little bit more. That shot wasn't terribly good, but make a small adjustment. Oh, big adjustment. Okay, so it doesn't come back from 3 board. I was genuinely surprised. I thought they might just puke out, but it retained enough energy to try to make it back to the pocket, so that looked pretty good. I'm just checking the flare rings just to see how much is flaring. And it's flaring a very good amount for what it is. Like I said, not the biggest diff in the world, still not small, but with that crazy long pin to pap on an ASYM specifically, makes it flare a lot more. Go ahead and move just a little left. I need to make a good shot in this area of the lane. Better. We're gonna keep moving left a little bit. In a perfect world, I wanna play more front to back with this ball. Big angles, I'm sure could work fine. But for me, for what I tried to drill this ball for and the shape I anticipated, now obviously I hadn't thrown it yet, We got to go off what the ball actually is supposed to do, or is doing, not what I think it's supposed to do. But that did travel down lane a little bit further than I expected, so that looked pretty good. Let's go ahead and move left some more. Send one right a little bit. I'm okay with what I'm seeing. The ball is generally hooking a little too early if I get it in. If I get it out, it's just too many boards to cover for this type of shape. So I'm okay with that. I would rather play a more front to back shape, but we're gonna keep cruising left, see if we can really find that out of bounds. I'm starting to see that out of bounds a little bit. It's not gonna be wanting to make that corner unless I really make something happen with my hand. So we're gonna go ahead and use that same shot. I'm gonna start manipulating the ball a little bit more, but ideally I'd wanna get myself pretty far right, just because I wanna see that smooth, predictable ball shape. Playing these big angles, especially on a fresh shot, probably not the best, but it's a ball review. I'm gonna add rotation. Much better. Yeah, definitely just with the more forward ball roll, just didn't have the right angles coming off the spot. Added rotation, definitely provided a proper angle going for pins. I wouldn't normally add angle on a fresh shot, rotation more or less, but that's just where we were on this one. So we're gonna cruise back right. I'm probably gonna have to utilize a little bit more speed to keep the ball in play, but yeah, let's go ahead and test that. So I'm gonna move all the way back to the right. I'm gonna try to go around first, second arrow. I think 5 is just too dry regardless, so I think it's a little bit of the OB there. So pick up the speed a little bit, get the ball going up between first and second arrow. Much better. I think reduce the rotation a teensy bit more. That looked pretty good. I will say the combination between the core and cover stock does hold a little bit more energy than even I expected. I was thinking it might be just a little bit more lopey, especially with that type of layout on this ball, but I'm not upset about it. We're gonna move a little bit more left, see if we can find the pocket. Probably close to the second arrow. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. Got a little left of that, but not bad. So I'm thinking on that one, probably just need the speed to be increased a little bit more. Oh, I sent it right, big time. All right, not too bad. Definitely feel like bigger angles with this ball is not what I'm hoping for, which is fine. It's gliding a lot. Like I really thought that it would pick up the lane a little bit earlier, especially with the cover stock and stuff. It's pretty aggressive, but yeah, I definitely thought it would pick up the lane a teensy bit earlier than it did. Now, going a 5 3/4 inch pin to pap does increase RG, so it helps with length. I was going, not obviously urethane replacement, you can do that by doing a long pin to pap on a big ASYM, basically just have it flare itself out. I was going for that, but I was hoping for maybe a little bit more like flare out where the ball didn't continue as much, but that might have something to do with the low intermediate diff. Oh, yeah, that ball's not slowing down a ton, so I feel like I need to actually find more friction. So I'm gonna move back right just to see if it can burn up a little bit more and really make sure I get it rolling. Do need a strike with this ball at some point. I did send that one a little bit too far right. It's definitely more, it's still an ASYM, so it's gonna wanna stop some, but then some of the other shots are just in the oil for a while. They just continue, they're just jumping a little bit too much. I did more of a pin down. You can see partially of the pin there. A lot of my other stuff, when I go long pin to pap, I do go up quite a bit to make it flare even more, but this one is definitely retaining more of the energy from a typical, it makes sense, typical pin downs for me retain more energy because they flare less, transition a little slower. Go. Yeah, definitely struggling a little bit to find a shot with this right now. With how much it's continuing on the back end, it makes me feel like my idea of going up the lane a little bit more and drilling and building this ball to be up the lane is not working too well. I feel like it almost needs more angle, but at the same time, it can't be in the dry. So that means move left and try not to get it to the dry as much. That's better. Yeah, this is definitely gonna be one of those times where when you watch a ball review video, I mean, a reviewer is gonna throw it 20 times or so they're gonna get an okay idea on what the ball does, but there's some times when I need a couple more throws than 20 to really figure out what this ball is doing, and that's where I'm at now. And obviously too, like, not every ball is gonna match up to a specific pattern, even if it is house. God, I just wanna be up the lane more with it. I don't wanna be this far left. Oh, wow. Well, it struck. That one I really just try to calm the hand down, loosen up a little bit, just make sure the ball's going up the lane. It looked better. Let's go ahead and try that again. Much better. I think I might have been gearing up on it a little too much, made it a little over-under shape. That's my problem, to be honest, hitting on it a little too hard sometimes. Yeah. Yep, figured it out. I think it was me. That was a me problem. That was definitely a me problem. Yeah, I was just whapping on it a lot. I didn't realize it. So I'm gonna kind of try to go through the lane a little bit again with that little bit of a change. This ball definitely, I mean, it's a strong ball, don't get me wrong. So it's gonna want to hook. On our particular shot here, we don't have a ton of volume. We did bump the volume up for this particular pattern, but it's still house shot. You still got a lot of friction right. Let's move right a little bit. I want to pick the speed up and quiet the hand down like I did before, just to make sure the ball keeps the pocket in play. Yeah, much better. Much better. Yeah, I like when I can get a ball going up the lane a little bit more. It makes life a little bit easier, especially on fresh. Like, I don't want to be that far left on any pattern, really, for the most part. Obviously, some exceptions there, but on fresh, you just going through a big part of the lane. You're going to see a lot of transition. So I was hoping to go up the lane a little bit more, keep it my life a little bit easier. And with the hand position change, I can. We're going to move left a little, right a little bit more. Dude, there's always one. I've been struck with this ball in 20 shots and I'm leaving 8-pin. That looked good. I want to try to see if I can repeat. Again, if you guys are wondering what I did when I said soften up, instead of being so far underneath the ball upon release, I just basically broke my wrist a little bit. That way, the unload procedure, instead of getting here to here to here, I can just keep it a little bit flat, drive through the ball. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Yeah, that was a me problem, guys. Sorry about that. I gotta relearn how to bowl again. But no, this was looking a lot better. I could play with the lane a little bit more with it. The ball, I thought, like the Coverstock being the Insider Extreme Solid that's on the Brutal Collision, I thought it was gonna be a little bit more aggressive. Now, that Brutal Collision did come out of factory with compound on it, so maybe that got me a little bit, just assuming that how clean that Brutal Collision was for a big ASYM Solid was because of the compound, but it seems like maybe the Coverstock isn't quite as strong as I thought. So, one or two more. Too much rotation. Oh, bounce off the ball. So a couple more shots and hop over the bat real quick. As I get left more, it's probably gonna spark it because retaining energy. Nice. Not the best shot in the world, but we'll take it. So then close the shot portion of this. We're gonna hop over to bat. That way I can show you guys what it does on a sport pattern. Now, sport patterns will show what a ball is supposed to do, good, bad, or other. Not every ball is gonna match up to a specific sport shot, or vice versa. So we're gonna see what it does on bat, get an idea on what the true rule of this ball is, and see if we can throw some strikes. So, be right back. We're back, 37-foot bat. So this is a PBA pattern and my absolute nemesis. I don't know if I've ever averaged like more than 200 on this pattern. I haven't bowled on it a ton, but we did throw bowl on it during our summer sports shot league, and it was the lowest scoring pattern without a doubt. So I wanted to throw this because in my brain when I drilled this ball that it would be pretty front to back and wouldn't continue as much, but it could be used for low volume. So what I just did on house shot does tell me that it is more continuous than I thought, so maybe not exactly the right ball for this, but we're gonna try to make it work for you guys. That way you guys can see good, bad, or other if this ball is what you're looking for. So a bat, 37 foot, probably gonna be playing, at least having my break point around 5-ish, somewhere around there. So we're gonna start by going straight up 5. Oh, Oh, got down lane quite a bit, actually. I sent that one right a little bit, but that's okay. Yeah, and we've been watching you guys' comments. A lot of people have said, like, every ball looks the same on house, which, don't get me wrong, there's definitely grain of truth to that. Obviously, a plastic's not the same as a asymmetric solid, or even raw is not the same as asymmetric solid. So house shots do make angles look a little bit easier and a little bit uniform across the board. So sports shots or flat patterns in general will help distinguish bowling balls from any others. So we wanted to include that here today. Yeah, it came out swap pretty hard. Whenever I played this pattern, it was always a pain for me. Usually urethane only worked good for me on this pattern, at least at this house. There's not a lot of friction here. I mean, comparatively to a 20-year-old house, there's not a ridiculous amount. So urethane helps with that quite a bit. But if I was to probably scuff this thing with 1,000, it would calm it down quite a bit. We're gonna move left a little bit. Floor pattern. I don't really want to send my angles inside much. So we're gonna be looking at the gutter. We're getting there. Slow down a little bit more, but still very responsive down lane. I would be typically looking for a smoother type shape, more front to back, but we're gonna try to manipulate that with my hand because I ain't changing the ball. Move left a little bit more, open those angles up towards the gutter. It's stuck on my thumb. Yeah, bad shot. I don't want to create a bunch of angle on this, obviously fresh. Like, I don't want it to be, this is sort of similar to how Cheetah's played, but Cheetah's a hell of a lot more forgiving. It's always why it's the highest scoring pattern on tour. This bat is definitely a lot harder. Don't want to create those big angles, so we're gonna move, only move we're gonna make is speed here. Yeah, much better. Yeah, definitely have to get some speed going. This ball's not slowing down as much as I'd hoped. It has cleaner of a cover stock than I was thinking. Now, still aggressive type cover stock. So it's less aggressive than I thought as far as cover stock, like biting into the lane. I figured it'd be a little bit more mid-laney, but this ball is definitely trucking itself down lane. And you know, now I'm thinking about 2.50 RG. It's not, obviously not high, don't get me wrong, but by doing a long pin to pap, you definitely jump it through the roof a little bit more. Still trying to figure out what I want to use this ball for. Right now, this pattern's probably a little too short for it, but we can try to make it work. Now I'm gonna try to open the angles up, send it right, maybe play a little bit more of that middle part of the lane. Now, I don't want it to go too much in the middle part of the lane. Yeah, it's really coming off that spot. I feel like what I need right now is a 1,000 pad. Dust the thing, get some surface on it, make it slow down a little bit more in that mid lane. I'm gonna see what happens when I move left and maybe keep it in just a teensy bit more. Again, 37-foot pattern. I wanna make sure it picks up by that shadow. Better. It's still hooking a little late for me, but not bad. So yeah, you guys can definitely see the difference in a house shot, sports shot. This ball continues on the back end a little bit more and it's a little bit cleaner than I expected, but that's just what it is. It reminds me of the Guru Oracle a little bit. Same numbers, similar numbers, but the Guru came a little duller and I did put a taller pin on it. So it does provide a little bit more front to back shape. This definitely has more of a continuation to it on the back. Move left a little bit more. Oh, I got around it. It's continuing so much, I don't have to do that. We're gonna throw a couple more shots and we'll go ahead and end the video off. If you guys like this type of video, where we're bowling on house and sport, please let us know. We'll definitely make more of them. A little bit more complicated to make, but that's okay. If it helps you guys out, it's worth it. Maybe a little bit, but very little. Got fingers pointed forward. Oh, stay out of the gutter. I'm trying to create bigger angles to the gutter because it's such a short pattern. I need it to roll before the end of the pattern. It's tough playing this type of angle and try to get it to hook early unless you're EJ or basically anyone that whacks. Yeah, I just need more ball. I need more front to back. I need to burn more energy. So we're gonna move right a little bit where it's a little bit more happy. Pick speed up, you can come back. Yep, yeah, it just gives me an easier angle to play from there. Like I said, I like what I'm seeing with the ball. I did think it was gonna be a little bit more early, a little bit more mid lane, and a little bit less continuation, but that's why we do ball reviews, figure out what they do. Let's throw two more. Hook. Ah, sent it right. I will say one thing that's about bowling on sport, definitely makes me look worse. I really want to see that ball try to pick up before that shadow, but I'm just not seeing it. And I need to find more friction, but I don't need it to jump and continue. I need to roll forward. So we're gonna move right to more friction and come to the back of it a lot. Definitely better. Very up the back of the ball to make that angle work, and it's still very quick. So I was able to get pick up a little bit earlier, but it's just a little too quick to transition. I want more smooth, more lope, more early for this pattern, but we can get a good idea on what the Mantra does. Where this fits in my bag, definitely not the most aggressive thing I have. Things like the Mesmerize, Paragon, etc. would be a stronger choice, more front to back, would pick up the lane earlier. But when I need something that I can open the lane up with, but control the pocket, I'm starting to see where this ball can lie. It doesn't require a ton of volume. A lot actually requires less volume than even I expected. And it definitely doesn't need the heaviest amount of volume. So I'm thinking if I am throwing the big ASYM solid up the lane a little bit, and maybe that starts picking up a little early, I can go ahead and ball change to this. Still provide me a similar shape, but I can do it on a little bit lower volume. So if you guys are interested in the Mantra Solid, they do come out here in a few weeks. If you guys have any questions about it, please let me know. Let me know what you guys think as far as comparables go. Did you like the original Mantra? Now, I was a fan of the original Mantra. I got to throw it a pretty good amount, probably put 40 or 50 games on it and then turn it into a practice ball for me. But what I was hoping for out of the original Mantra was a solid version of it. Now, we've got a few similar balls like that through the Guru and some balls like that. Even the poles is still symmetric, but that mid-diff, but stronger cover stock. I was excited for this ball because of that reason. Hopefully provide a smoother shape on a little bit lower volume. I was generally surprised with it is a little bit cleaner than I expected, but surface can do a lot with that. So if I was to put 1,000 on it, I bet you I would get to where I thought it would be to start out. So if you guys like this video, please remember to smash that like button and hit that subscribe button. We're on a road to 20,000 subs, and with your guys' help, we can get there. But with that said, this was the review of the new Mantra Solid. My name is Jason Robarge. We'll rev it up bowling. Much love. Peace.